Por agora chamamos a primeira convidada de hoje. A gastronomia esteve sempre muito presente na cultura, ao mesmo tempo que as viagens a inspiram a escrever justamente sobre os pratos tradicionais. Pratos esses que distinguem e que ao mesmo tempo aproximam povos. O vosso gigante aplauso para Margo Gabriel. Thank you very much for being with us tonight, Margo. It's amazing having you here. I know that you're not a Portuguese speaker person, but although that, you love Portuguese speaking food. Isn't that so?
Yes.
If you have to choose, is there any country that has better food than others?
This is a hard question to answer. I love to travel. I also love to eat. And part of the work that I do as a food writer is trying to find the best places to enjoy. So far, I'm really enjoying Portugal.
Sometimes we say that music is like universal language. Is the same thing with food?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Even with different tastes, because we can find so different plates between countries, or some more spicy, or more salty. But is the same language? Is it a way to spread emotions?
Most definitely. And I think food can bring people together, whether you like spicy foods or sweet things. There's a little bit of everything that you can find here in Portugal. So.
And is it just the plate or the ritual itself? The ritual of being at a table with family or friends and gathering around the table for many hours. We do that in Portugal, as you know.
Yes.
We can be seated on the table like for 5 hours and it's okay.
Easily.
So it's a ritual. It's more than food.
For sure, for sure. And I think for me, some of my most fondest memories are food memories. And so it's really lovely to be here in Portugal and building those food memories with new friends, old friends here in Lisbon. So, yeah.
And some of our memories go through food as well. As I can remember my grandmother, and most what I remember from her is the best cooks that she made. She was a really nice woman in kitchen, and she can do everything,
Awesome.
As you can imagine. So our memories are part of them are just food. Is it a way of love each other?
Yes, absolutely. I may not speak the same language as the chef that's cooking my meal, but I still have that connection. It's a labor of love. And so whatever kitchen I get a chance to be in and dine in, that's also sort of an act of love, of course.
You were born in two different cultures.
Correct.
American in one way,
Yes.
and in another way, another totally different culture. But food was a way to mix both of them together?
Absolutely. So both of my parents are from the island of Haiti.
Yeah.
And so I grew up in Boston, Massachusetts. We have a large Portuguese community.
I know that, yeah.
Which is really awesome. So lots of fantastic seafood. But I was always keen on, seeing what my mom was doing in the kitchen.
IT food culture is quite different than the American one?
Yes, it's more seafood, lots of rice dishes, lots of root vegetables, and lots of seafood, and sometimes some red meat as well.
So how was it at your home? How did you mix both cultures, both food cultures?
Of course. So at home we were used to having homemade meals. My mom was a fantastic cook. I learned to cook from her as well. We weren't allowed to eat fast food. So really when I got to be a teenager, I could go to McDonald's or things like this.
Okay.
But at home it was, something with chicken or fish, lots of stewed soups and things like this.
At the same time, you decided to go to Mozambique.
Yes.
And in the middle, when you stop in Portugal, you learn to love this country and you decide to live here.
Yeah.
Did you find many differences between the US and Portugal about food?
Hugely, hugely. I find that the Portuguese are very focused on food and culture and really welcoming people to their table. And that was very familiar to me growing up in a Haitian household. We would have Sunday dinners and my mom and my dad and my siblings and I would be at the dinner table. So that is something that is common here in Portugal as well, which I really love.
And is it because of that you find out that you had the need to write about food? Because it's not what you studied. You had a degree in English and professional writing.
Correct,
so it's
correct.
nothing about gastronomy or
Not
food at all.
I think being a storyteller, I'm always curious to know, okay, well, what inspired this chef to open their restaurant? That's the story that I want to share with my readers. And so being in Lisbon, being in Portugal, there's so many layers to the cuisines, to the wine, to the cheese, and And I want to be able to find those stories here.
But is it the same thing as telling a completely different story when you talk about food or when you're trying to write about food? Is it the same thing as talk about a person?
I would say yes, yeah, because I think that everyone has a story, and some of them perhaps more powerful than others. But I find that when I'm talking to chefs, their main goal might be, recreating a memory that they had growing up, or being able to bring people together, like that, and having that sense of community. So I think that tends to be the through line for a lot of my work.
But even here in Lisbon, did you find out that it's a multicultural city when you talk about food? Because you can find food from so many different places in the city.
Most definitely.
Did it amaze you? Was
did.
it a surprise?
It did. My first time here in 2018, I didn't expect to see so much diversity. I really didn't know what to expect, honestly. But I was really impressed by that, and just seeing that there's a large Palop community, there's a large Mozambican community, a large Cape Verdean community, a large, community from Sao Tome, Angola. That to me fascinated me, and we don't really have that diversity from Boston, where I'm from. We have a large Cape Verdean community, but I was eager to find out what the food flavors were like, and so Lisbon was really the perfect place to explore that.
Even this year, you participated in a panel during the Imminent Festival on September, wasn't it?
Yeah, last
on
month.
the 24th. And this panel was called Politics in Food.
Yeah.
Is food a political thing?
I think it is, yes.
In which way?
So, specifically, let's talk about the piti piti. This is a very popular dish in Portugal, of course, also in Mozambique. And so one of the themes that we really explored was who owns a recipe, who owns a spice? Because you can go to Mozambique and get like a piti piti with camarão, right, with shrimp.
And if you go to Angola, it's jindungo.
Exactly.
It's
so
almost the same thing.
It's got different names depending on where you are. And so food can be political depending on if one particular country says, this is our dish, this is our spice, and then it's like, well, forget about the other country. So, yes, it can be political in that sense.
So, you write about food, but I have to ask you, are you good cooking as well?
I'm going to humbly say that I am a good cook. My friends can vouch for me. I think I'm a good cook. They never complain.
And you try different origins of the food you do at home?
For sure, for sure.
Because in this busy life that we have, sometimes we don't have the time to be in a kitchen and cook.
Yes.
And most parents have these hard times. They want to have healthy food for their children, but they can't make them.
Absolutely.
Is there any way to have a daily basis healthy food at home without that effort or that time that it's needed?
For sure. I think, I run into the same issue, like not having enough time to cook. But usually I try to prepare either a protein, maybe in advance, and then have a side salad. So usually having fresh vegetables, which don't take too much time to cook, is easy. But yeah, I'd say like trying to do a little bit of meal prepping beforehand saves you a lot of time. And
this free course of cooking that will be part next month for Afro-descendants and not only Afro-descendants, it's founded by Paulo Amado.
Correct.
And you have lots of chefs and lots of culinary creatives that get together to make new food and to teach other people to make new foods. It's a way to learn easy and simple recipes that can have history and have identity.
Definitely. So this new initiative founded by Paulo Amado is called Curso Livre de Cozinha, and it's a really fantastic initiative because we get a chance to really bring a little bit more visibility to the Afro-descendant chefs in Portugal, but also it's open to the broader community. So not just for the Afro-descendant community, but those who are in the culinary space that want to learn about different cuisines.
Very well. I have a nice game to play with you.
Okay.
I believe so. It's not easy.
Okay.
But I guess that you'll find out that's quite easy for you.
Sure. Okay.
I have many recipes, but they are written with emojis.
Oh, okay.
You have to find out which recipe is it.
Okay.
Is it okay?
Okay, let's do it.
Okay, let's do it.